Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, good morning. There's the market bell. Welcome to Market Open Stream once again. And today, of course, let's talk about what's going on in the market with Bitcoin and how the next breakout could be absolutely massive. And it has broken out above once again since last night. Let's talk about it, and let's talk about what else is going on in the world of crypto. So good morning, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Look at this, 22.7. Looks like we want to break above once again. That's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty good. US market is looking like it wants to open in red, but that could certainly change to the green. Now, last night, I started something new, and I'm going to continue doing it just for fun, and I don't recommend anyone following me. But because the George effect always seems to happen, I'm just going to throw a 5x leverage on $100 worth of Bitcoin and see where it ends up by the end of stream. So there you go, 100. Let's long that, and hopefully you guys don't see what that password is. All right, and we'll see where it is by the end of the stream. What, did it even go through? No, it didn't go through. Let's try that again. There we go. Oh, oops. Now I did $200. It's okay. It's okay. All right. So what's going on today? Well, a couple of things. Number one, retail sales jumped 3% in January, smashing expectation. Of course, this normally would be a very good thing, a very, very good thing. But it's seen as a bad thing because people are afraid this will lead to higher inflation, okay? But, you know, if you think about it, retail sales jumping 3%. This is great for retailers. This is because the consumers want to spend again. Consumers want to buy things. They're going out and shopping, right? And we know retailers are struggling. A lot of retailers have reported horrible earnings for Q4. So this is actually a good thing, but why this is seen as bad thing is because if retail sales go up, that means demand is high, and if supply is down, that means price will go up, which means inflation will go up, right? That's kind of why it's bad. But when you think about it, this is actually good. This is good. But again, we're in this situation where markets just care about what Powell's going to do next. We're in that like endless cycle where before every FOMC meeting, we look at economic data like this and we interpret the opposite way, meaning good data is interpreted as bad and bad data is interpreted as good. So unfortunately, I think that's adding to a little bit of sell pressure today from Wall Street. But you know what? I think overall this is still good. This shows that U.S. economy is strong. U.S. economy is not crashing. The notion of a deep recession that many people have said, it doesn't seem like it's coming. People are still, people are doing fine, right? Also, I saw something from Tesla. Tesla is opening 7,500 chargers in the U.S. to other EV vehicles from other manufacturers by the end of 2024, because if they do, they get a huge grant from the government, something like that. I don't know how much, but it's in the billions. Okay, this is something that Tesla has to watch out for. They have been saying this forever, to open up their charging stations to other EV vehicles. But here's the thing: do they really want to do that? Yes, these grants are great, but their biggest advantage, in my opinion, right now, is the supercharger station. So many people will refuse to buy other EV vehicles simply because it's hard to charge them, right? But Tesla has the biggest and most vast supercharging network around the world, not just the U.S., right? Why would you want to give up that advantage? So we'll see. And plus, if you're a Tesla owner, you want to be a little snobbish. You want to be in your Tesla and look at all these other Teslas that's at the supercharger stations, and you don't want to see like a Chevy Bolt show up and park right next to you to charge, or a Nissan Leaf, right? You don't want that. You want to keep those guys out of your base, right? Anyways, moving on. What else is there? As for crypto, a lot of international news today for Bitcoin and crypto overall. So that's good. For example, Interactive Broker, they're actually absolutely huge. Their market cap is $40+ billion. Okay, and they are launching cryptocurrency trading in Hong Kong, right? And that started today. So this is primarily to like really big investors, wealthy investors, institutional investors. So now they're able to buy and trade Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? But I'm sure this will open up to other things. So this is happening in Hong Kong. Very nice. In Singapore, you're seeing Bitcoin and Ethereum volume explode. Even in 2022, they're talking about 80% growth in 2022 versus 2021, even though 2022 has been so bad. Now imagine in 2023 and 2024 as we recover upwards, right? The volume is just going to be absolutely enormous. This is the this is the appetite. You know, I tend to concentrate on U.S. a lot, obviously, but around the world, you have so many countries, so many people that really want to opt in. You know, what we're suffering right now with inflation is not just a U.S. thing. It's around the world. And there's so many other countries that have it much worse than we do, right? And it's good to see stuff like this. Also, take a look at this, a $2 billion initiative to back Web3 startups. You know, again, you're just seeing like endless money that is coming into this space, right? There's just so much appetite for basically Bitcoin, Ethereum, Web 3.0, blockchain, decentralization around the world. Global adoption is happening right in front of our eyes. And stuff like this didn't really happen in previous cycles, okay? Most of you guys, I think, lived through 2021, and some of this started. But if you lived the previous cycle in 2017, none of this was happening. None. So this is all relatively new. Global adoption, institutional adoption, and plus the holders becoming stronger than ever, right? That's all great. And this never happened before. You have the NFTs, Ordinals, and it's exploding on Bitcoin. Over 100,000 Ordinals minted. This is causing controversy because a lot of Bitcoiners do not want this to happen, do not want all this NFTs and pictures and text and all this extra data to be stored on the blockchain, right? But it's happening, and people are loving it. You can see the volume down here. It's exploding, right? That's good. Again, adoption is growing by leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. What else is going on with Bitcoin? Well, you know how recently we just dipped down, right? Just a little bit. Super Bowl Sunday, we saw Bitcoin dip down to 21.6. And again, some people were panicking, not I, and not any of you guys that tuned in. But you know what? What did the whales do? Did they panic? No. In fact, they just kept buying, right? So according to sentiment, the volume exploded during that small little dip that we had. Small little dip, and this comes after the price already went down. So it just shows you the whales, they're not giving up. They're just accumulating, and they take, you know, they're very calculated with their buys, and of course they buy when other people like retail investors are panicking, right? And they keep buying and buying and buying. That's simply what's happening right now, right? We are recovering. There's like basically, well, I'll get to it. I'm ahead of myself, but yeah, I'll show you something interesting. But before that, this is also interesting. Number of addresses with non-zero balances. You could see it now. It's starting to climb up more rapidly now than ever before. So now we're above 44 million, but you can see right at the tail end of that, you know, within the last month or so, you could see the balances, or addresses, I should say, number of addresses, like, you know, going from somewhat like of a slow incline now to like a really steep incline. Okay, there's definitely people coming into space. There's definitely holders that are still DCing and new retail investors coming into this space, along with institutional investors and everyone else. And also, this is looking pretty darn good. This is looking pretty darn good. This is showing what happened in 2021, 2022 when Bitcoin topped out, right? You look at the bottom there, stochastic RSI was very, very high. So it made sense that Bitcoin was going to come down, but that was when Bitcoin was at like 60-something thousand. But now we are not at 60-something thousand. We are at exact opposite. Look at stochastic RSI, barely turned above, and we have broken above that trend line. And these are great things. And what is it going to lead to? Well, keep in mind, we had many instances like this before where we have fallen, pretty significantly, stayed there, and then we broke out, right? So we just recently had a golden cross. And last time this happened in 2019 when we were recovering from bottom, good things happen. Very good things happen. And that's how we got up to $60-something thousand, right? And that was after falling to 3,000 in 2018. And then we pretty much shot up to 60-something thousand, right? After the next halving event. And we are approaching the next halving event in 2024. So are we mimicking what has happened before? It certainly looks like it. And there's a lot of charts and metrics that compare what we're going through right now versus before, and it's repeating. It's almost too similar, but it is. So great things are coming, and next breakout, that's why I labeled my title, the next breakout could be absolutely massive. You just have to have patience. Yeah, and take a look at this. Right? Does it not look like history is repeating? Right? Coming up, this is after we came up in 2019 all the way to like 14,000. Then unfortunately we had like a COVID dip, right? But otherwise we were in that channel. And then after we broke out of channel, look at that breakout. It just kept going, right? And look at our current trajectory right now, our current path in that same channel. We did break below because of FTX. So this time we didn't have a COVID crash. We had an FTX crash. We recovered fully from the FTX crash. We're in that channel once again. And again, if we do break out of this channel, just like before, right, we could have a tremendous run to the upside, right? So looking good. Also, just to, I know a lot of you guys are meme coin fans. Nothing for sheep today, but Doge pumped up yesterday, and that's because Elon tweeted this. The new CEO of Twitter is amazing, and Doge went up about 6%. It didn't really go up like crazy, but I'm wondering what's going on in the background. That's obviously fake, so I don't know what's going on there. But, not only Doge, Floki went up too, and Floki went up crazily not only because of the tweet. I mean, all meme coins are the same dog. So, I mean, when Elon tweets out a picture of his dog, I mean, all the meme coins kind of like just all go up simultaneously. But Floki went up a little bit more because I noticed that KuCoin did add them. So that's probably why they like shot up. But overall, Elon effect is still in play. Still waiting for some kind of integration with Twitter. Like, where's the crypto wallet integration, and where's the Doge tipping integration, or Doge buying? I don't know, something with Doge. You need to incorporate Doge in some way, right, to make it legitimate, to give it a use case. And that's what everyone is hoping Elon does, and he hasn't yet. He hasn't really said anything about payments or wallets or crypto at all with Twitter. I mean, I know he has other stuff to fix, but still waiting for that to happen. All right. Where's the U.S. market? U.S. market's still in the red. NASDAQ is a little bit less red than Dow. Let's see if things can flip around. And overall market cap today back to 1.05 trillion, up 4%, over 4%. That's pretty terrific. We're getting back to our previous level. I think last time we topped out, maybe a week or two ago, we topped out around like 1.08, 1.09. We're getting there. We're getting there. Good stuff. All right, let's do some Q&A. I ran out of coffee already. All right. Let's see here. Scrolling. 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 New subscriber, good morning from Los Angeles. Industrial education, welcome. Why doesn't someone create an L2 on Bitcoin for NFTs? It's hard. You have Stacks. Stacks is basically like an L2 for Bitcoin, but it's using EVM to process smart contracts. So Stacks is somewhat interesting, but it's not pure Bitcoin, right? I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, I just feel like, you know, stuff that has to do with like NFTs and DeFi and a whole bunch of other stuff that exists already, it's more optimal for Ethereum and other L1, L2s rather than Bitcoin. Bitcoin should stay being the greatest store of value and the best hedge against inflation, and maybe evolve into payments with Lightning Network, right? Thoughts on me, Kevin, being extraordinary bearish on crypto, saying Biden will ban crypto, or is he saying that will people buy stocks? I don't know. I don't know what his agenda is. Biden's not going to do no such thing. Right now, Gary is doing his thing, but, you know. Worst case scenario. Worst case scenario, let's say all of crypto is banned in the U.S. Well, crypto is not just a U.S. thing. Okay, there's a lot of people, a lot of countries. Today, I just talked about all these other countries getting involved, right? So even if that happened, and short term, if that happened, it'll probably bring some pain. But long term, it means nothing. It just means that innovation in the space will just move to other countries. Hey, how's my long doing? Yes, I'm up $1.88. We need more movement right now. Yes, I'm up $2 almost. Any thoughts on Conflux? Austin, I never heard of that. I don't know what project that is. Okay, 150 million. That's pretty good. Where is it? That's on Binance and KuCoin. Okay, so they're pretty big. Blockchain without barriers enables creators, communities, and markets to connect across borders and protocol. Looks like it's a L1. There's not a whole lot of information about what they actually do or how they're different. But they have staking, they're scalable, high throughput, secure, and I mean, that's every L1 out there, so I don't actually know. Complex ecosystem. Well, this is deceiving because it's showing all these dexes, and these dexes are pretty much just probably just, they have trading pairs for Conflux. Doesn't mean that they're actually integrated with them. Yeah, I mean, this is just like, this is a little misleading. Can't tell you anything right off the bat other than it's pumping, and don't ask me about stuff that's pumping. I should have looked at that first. Do you still feel good about Cadena and where it's going? You know what, Pat? I just saw something about they're going to ETH Denver, although they're not Ethereum related to Ethereum at all. But I still do think they could do great things. Like many other L1s, they just need to keep building and marketing. They need to get people involved and know what they're doing, right? And I think it'll be good. Good for them. Shannon, I do. Drivers only. Cadena actually, I mean, you could say it's similar to Cardano, but really not. I mean, there's totally different. Cadena is still proof of work. They have chain web, so they figure out how to use proof of work and chain together like multiple chains to scale infinitely with no fees. Cardano is not proof of work. It's proof of stake still. Yeah, I mean, the leadership is different. Obviously, Cardano has Charles. Cadena doesn't have Charles, but they have a group of really brilliant guys. So, yeah, so they're not really actually the same at all. What is... Hey, Coinbase up 5%. That's good. And Tesla's not up. Tesla was up crazy yesterday, so that's understandable. But Coinbase is up today. MicroStrategy's up a little bit. Yeah, I'm very bullish on two stocks right now, Coinbase and Tesla. Tesla less bullish now because now it climbed back up. It doubled from where it was like a month ago. But Coinbase is still very, very undervalued, I think. I know there's a lot of scrutiny around regulations, but Coinbase is dictated by the crypto market, and the crypto market is recovering. Then someone like Coinbase is going to benefit a lot. But we'll see. We'll see. Unless they get into nasty battles with like the SEC and everyone else, then it's different. There seems to be a battle on Rumble about USDT and if it could be banned in the US. What the US could do is, if they want to try to ban something like USDT, which they really can, obviously you could store it in your wallet, you could still use it on DEXs, but they can prohibit the exchanges from using it. They could prohibit maybe some of the wallet addresses that's associated with USDT and kind of enforce it upon some of the wallet makers, right? But a complete ban on USDT is virtually impossible. Again, crypto is not limited to just the US. It's worldwide. Random tutorials, no, nowhere close. It's not even in the top 20 for me. Have you noticed Chipotle stock seems like it hovers at 15, 1600? No, I would never buy Chipotle stock. I mean, honestly, it just food in general. I mean, I would not invest in any restaurant stocks at all. What made me slowly go back to Twitter? Because they said they were going to turn on monetization for replies. So I'm like, hey, what the hell? Let me try it. But I haven't seen anything about it, so I don't know what. I may have been fooled by Elon. So I don't know what's going on with that. What do you think about Hollow? I'm not a fan of Hollow. They're one of many L1s out there. They're just kind of hanging around. Hollow Chain is a DAG. They have storage, which they rent out. You could pay for. They're kind of like an L1 with storage play with some of the other stuff that's going on. I mean, they're very similar to others. I can't really differentiate them. So, I don't know. Never been that big of a fan of Hollow Chain. DXY is pumping. Is that the case? Yeah, DXY going up is no good. This is happening probably because, I mean, I don't even get it. DXY should not be affected by, some of the economic data that we have, but it is. I mean, this is probably affected by retail data. The retail sales going up, right? And then people are bringing up the dollar because they feel like inflation is going to get worse, but it's better in the U.S. than other countries, which is why the dollar strength is going up versus other currencies, which is why the DXY is going up. I think that's how you tie it together, but still, something like that should not be causing DXY to go up, or maybe there's some other thing going on around the world. But, we made really good. Look at this. We're at 114, right? So we had a pretty good recovery in terms of DXY coming down. We want to see DXY as low as possible. Get back to the 80s. That's when Bitcoin is usually its highest, right? So we don't want to see DXY come back up again. And DXY hit a low of 101, only 2 weeks ago. And then some of the economic data just kind of scared people, and now DXY is up again. But hopefully we could reverse that trend and start breaking below 100. With the Ordinals taking up block space, do you think the devs made the wrong move during a block size war? No. That could always be changed in the future. Think about how pointless it was to talk about block size back in 2017 and 2018. There was hardly anything going on. And then, you had Veer and you had Veer who made a big deal about it, forked Bitcoin Cash, and it's irrelevant and damaged his reputation forever. And then you have Craig Wright, who also forked Bitcoin Cash and made even bigger blocks, and it's even more pointless to have Bitcoin SV. It does nothing. So what's the point of arguing about block size? You can always increase it later if necessary. So when are the money printers going to run again? When the debt ceiling gets removed, which it will. And I asked ChatGPT about it yesterday. Like, hey, what's the consequence of just removing the debt ceiling altogether? And it was smart to lay it out. more borrowing, and eventually leads to the downfall of the dollar. High inflation, more printing, our credit rating, our trust just goes down. It's just a vicious cycle, something that you don't want to see. P4 FOS, appreciate it. Cardano, Chainlink, Polkadot, ICP, Gala, Sheep. Am I wrong? Anyone thinks? I don't think anything particularly is wrong with any of those projects. I personally do not like ICP, but everything else I think is okay. Pentagon lost another $2 trillion, no biggie. That's the thing. It's like, unfortunately, the last few years have taught the politicians to basically just be very fiscally irresponsible. Like a trillion here, a trillion there, it's nothing. Like a billion here, billion there, to the U.S. government is like less than chump change now. And it's funny that we act that way, even though we don't actually have any money. The U.S. economy, the U.S. government is in what, like 30 trillion in debt? So we're actually broke. We're living off of credit. It's like someone living a lavish lifestyle based on credit cards. Like, essentially, it's like that. But the U.S. government has a printer that can print more when they need the money. So if they ever get in trouble, they can just print more. But raising a debt ceiling is basically calling a credit card company and say, hey, you need to raise my credit limit, right? I may be at 10,000 now, but I need it to be lifted to 12,000. And then a year from now, you say, hey, I need it to be lifted to 14,000. I mean, that's what the debt ceiling is. The U.S. keeps spending more and more and more, and we keep hitting the debt ceiling, and then the Congress have to convene and talk about if we should lift up the debt ceiling. I mean, you wouldn't teach your kids to manage money that way. You wouldn't want to manage money that way. So why is the U.S. government, and basically all governments around the world, managing their money that way? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's not sustainable, right? But we can't fix the U.S. economy. We cannot, okay? Us individually. But what we can fix is how we treat our own money. So when you hold on something that keeps inflating forever to nothing, right? You want to do something about that. You want to invest in assets that will hedge against inflation or outpace inflation, grow at a faster rate. Otherwise, you are just literally being robbed of your money, and inflation will eat away at your buying power forever. I'm very disappointed with Zion, who's still injured. He gets injured infinitely. Oh no, my profits went down from $2 down to 50 cents. Nice. We need more George effect happening. When I don't do this, I see Bitcoin move up in a big way. When I start doing this with you guys, anyways, it's just for fun, small amount. just for fun. And if I lose big and I get liquidated during a stream, well, that just proves that no one should be using leverage, because you're essentially guessing when you're using leverage. No matter how many lines and indicators you bring up, sometimes you just don't know where it's going to go. Yeah, Derrick Rose, I mean, he was, if Derrick Rose was like 6 inches taller, I mean, he would have been like completely unstoppable, but he was a little bit too small, and because of that, he never got a chip, and unfortunately his body failed him. But if he was just a little bit taller, man, he would have been so unstoppable. Isn't it DCA day? No. Not right now. Tonight. All right, guys. Let's call it a stream today. Bitcoin, you know what? We'll take this. We are up, closing it at 22.23. We do have a resistance that we need to break. That's a little bit higher, right around 20. What happened to my lines? My lines all disappeared. But we do have a resistance right around where we are. Oh, here we go. So there is one that I removed, but it's right around here, like 22.8. But the next one, of course, is to get back to 24.3. And if we could break through this, then 30K is right around the corner. And if you're looking at like some of these indicators, like the daily stochastic is about to turn up, RSI is turning up, MACD is starting to turn up. I mean, on a daily scale, Bitcoin is ready to rock. So stay strong, my friends. Stay thirsty, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.